Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geek Out channel. This is another episode of Fight Talk with the BMAs. We're back. Took a little break last week because of me. I was traveling back to Dubai and just couldn't find the time and get back into routine. But it's another week back into routine, and we're back to talk about some fights, and we'll touch on last week's fights as well, since we didn't get a chance to. But I'm always joined by my boy K West. How you doing, brother? Good morning.
I'm really good. Good morning to you as well. Does this work? Do I need more lighting?
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. The lighting, I think because of the light on your right side, the daylight is kind of making things bright actually. So you want to be opposite like that. You want to be opposite to the light. There, that's a better lighting for you.
Hold on, but that's me standing. If I sit here, put lights on. Still a bit, yeah, I see what you mean. I'm still a bit out of way out of it.
Yeah, that'll work. That's all good. Yeah.
All right. Yes.
How you been, man?
I'm really well. It's like I said, it's been a mad last week, and everything changed. Different turn of pace this week. Feeling a lot more at ease, comfortable. Moved home to mom's house. But everything settled like I told you. And just looking forward to future things ahead. I never normally travel into the future per se. I normally live in the present time of things, but I guess I let myself kind of trip, and I'm just like, I'm gonna, and it started to like sink in. So it's been good. Like that transition of moving was a bit and then kind of getting on the other end of it, and then now I'm like, so much more to look forward to, kind of thing. That's what I'm at.
I feel that. Yeah, no, moving's never easy. It doesn't matter if it's to you back to family's house or whatever. It's just the process of moving all your stuff and then just setting up. But yeah, no, good to hear that you're kind of settled up. Yeah, same here. Look, last week, like I said, I got back to Dubai Monday morning. Like it was a night flight, Sunday night to Monday morning. So that's why I just couldn't do the podcast. I was just so tired, and I had to get straight into work and everything. So, but yeah, no, it's been good. Last week was just all about really getting back into routine, getting things back to normal. A lot of cleaning. There was a storm before I came to the garden, and everything was just a mess. And so a lot of cleaning and getting back into routine. And then this weekend was our 1 year anniversary, so I kind of took the missus. Just kind of spent a day together. Nothing special, but we spent a day together. Going out and about. We always, I know. And then we went out car shopping. So one of our goals of coming back was buying a car. And it was good, because I mean, right now it's summertime here. It is hot. Oh my God, it's bad to be outside.
48,
talking about 40s plus, and then just humidity is just a horrible time to be outside. But anyway, I'm cool with it. I mean, like I'm kind of skipping all over the place. But last week when we got back, I had issues with the car. They didn't give me the car at the airport. I'm not gonna go through that. Anyway, we needed milk when we got back. I took a walk. Yeah, I know. No, I turned Mrs. car, and she dealt with it while I was going crazy and whatnot. She dealt with the solution. Yeah, trust me. After a late night flight, just wanted to get the car and go home.
Yeah, you didn't need that.
But it's typical Dubai. Right? What's that?
Sorry. You didn't sleep on the flight.
I don't sleep in general, so there's no way I was sleeping on the flight. I just ended up playing chess against the machine on the computer on the flight, which just smashed me every time, which is crazy. But anyway, typical Dubai. I mean, nothing ever goes to plan when it comes to Dubai. This is just the customer service in regards to that side of things is always bad. If you come here as a vacation, it's always amazing. But anyway. I had to come back, had to get some milk. So I took a walk. I was like, it's hot, but let me go take a nice walk. Boy, that was not good because my local grocery store is like at least a mile away. And that was a hard walk. On the way back, I swear I can't even remember the journey. I was tired and it was super hot. I was delusional. It was a mistake doing that. Anyway, it's not a small thing to walk around in the heat for long periods of time. And then, they delivered the car. Anyway, our goal is to buy
you got the car.
No, they delivered it that day, but we need the rented car, but we're out shopping for a new one. So, you know what?
The MG.
Yeah,
or
so what
the
happened was like,
yeah.
I had no idea about cars. I lost interest in cars for a long time. And I was like, let's just go to a dealership and let's get an idea of what I can afford and what looks good. And you know what? Like, it was a good experience, man. First of all, came out from one dealership on Saturday thinking, okay, I didn't even think about Peugeot, but that was one of the cars I was contemplating. And then yesterday went to another dealership, and the MG came on top of the list. And now even considering buying a brand new one. So I'm just doing the maths. I'm just talking to people, getting everyone else's opinion because I don't know much about
Yeah.
cars. But like,
So
from not knowing what to get to like actually going to check and be like, all right, well, this one could fit my budget. The specs work, and I might even end up getting a brand new one, possibly. Like, it works out, but I'm working it out to see if it's worth it or not. Go on finance, pay it full out, whatever it is. But yes, it's good to just be in a place where I'm like, okay, now I know. Whereas before I was like, I have no idea. So now I
who
have an
am
idea.
I?
Yeah. So yeah, so that's been the story. Yesterday was our first year anniversary. So just kind of went out and
Boom.
about, went for dinner and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Simple sort of stuff, which was nice. But yeah, that's it really, Other than that, I've been trying to keep up with the fights as usual. Things get busy sometimes, but trying to keep up with the fights. I got access to the BT Sports now here, which means because I haven't renewed my Fight Pass yet, but
Yeah.
means I need to watch the fights live. I can't just summon them when I want with Fight Pass. That was an advantage of having Fight Pass. However, being in Dubai, you can't actually, the fights are not like fights don't go on Fight Pass until a couple of days later. In Singapore, they go on Fight Pass straight away. So I had to use a VPN and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, now I got access to BT Sport. I'm just gonna have to access them live, which means I gotta wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning. Or in regards to this weekend, I had to wake up at 3 a.m. to watch the fights. But yeah, no, it's all good. Got a chance to watch the fights. Bro, do you want to, what are you saying? Do you want to talk about this week's fights first, or do you want to catch up about last week's ones? Because we missed those. There was also the big
Neither.
boxing
I
one as well.
actually want to know where you went to eat for your anniversary.
Oh, we went for Korean. My wife likes Korean food and whatnot. So we went to this new Korean restaurant called okay, it sounds like Holy Cow, but in Korean, Holy Cow. It's this famous Singapore chef who came to Dubai and kind of made his name as a chef here. And then he's opened up a few restaurants and whatnot. So this was actually on my missus's radar. So I was able to kind of surprise her with this one. I did book a little experience before, but I flopped. Not book, sorry. I had a plan to take her to an experience before, which was it was called a rain room, basically, where you can stand in the middle of the rain and whatnot. But I flopped. I didn't book it. And then I just assumed you can go in and buy tickets, but you had to wait 4 hours. So I messed up on that one. So I'd have to take her another time.
Next time. That's amazing, man. That's nice. That's good husbandry.
Not good at planning, bro. No, I'm not good at planning. But if I was good at planning, I would have booked that rain room. Like I didn't book it. I'm just not good at that shit.
Fair enough, for next time, but still, like, you for next time. For next time. Maybe when's her birthday?
Coming up, September 9th.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do it then.
For sure. Yeah.
Get off this call, give them a call, set it in motion, right?
For sure. Definitely. I have to book. I'm in general not good at planning and organizing and gifts and birthday gifts and that gift. I'm always like, guys, don't buy me a gift. I don't want to don't ever buy me a gift because I don't want to feel obliged to buy you a gift because I don't know how to do it. And the thing is, I'm always like, I'll just give you the money. Like, I'm just a guy, like, give you the money, buy whatever you want. But that's not what counts. What counts is the thought. But I just don't. I'm just not good at that stuff, to be honest with you. I know people are like, yeah, what do they like? I'm like, I know what they like, but it's hard for me to figure out what I can get them.
It really isn't. It's not as hard as you think,
No,
it really isn't as hard as you think. Like, for example, right? Go on.
No, it's just me. You know what I mean? Everyone has their things. I just not good at this one, put it that way. But not good at that thing. You know what I mean?
I see. You'll get used to being a husband at some point.
Yeah, it's not even just like husband. It's like friends and brothers and sisters.
I know.
Not good at it. Yeah.
But I mean, like obviously now that you're married, it's different. Like it's you're focusing on one person, right? So it's a bit different. Rather
Yeah,
than okay, birthday got gift to Paul and Jacob and Hakeem, whereas it's like wife.
yeah,
You know, it's
yeah,
her
for
birthday,
sure.
it's our anniversary. It's
Yeah, the good thing is she's not as into it as most people. She just appreciates the thoughts, but she's not
that's cool.
expecting anything. She knows how I am. So that's a good thing, man. Like she doesn't want to make a big thing out of it and whatnot, which is great. But she make a little thing, a little gesture is always going to be nice. But I'm glad she doesn't have expectations because that's just stressful. I don't need that shit in my life as well.
Mm, man, pick the right wife.
It's what happens, right? Through the journey, you check and you break up and you
Yeah,
have heartbreaks, and then you're like, why me? I'm gonna be alone for the rest of my life. And then the right one just walks into your life, you know? So the way it goes.
solid, man. Solid, solid. But yeah, man, that's beautiful. That's like when I saw the picture of you guys, I was like, oh, so good. It
Nice.
just feels
It's
good to
nice.
see that, you know?
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate
It
it.
does feel good to see that. But man, what a fucking that event we did last time was amazing. I think that's the best one.
What
Like
together? Yeah,
you
yeah,
and
yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That was
man.
sick.
Oh
And
my
the
God.
live reactions and all that stuff was amazing. It was amazing. You know, it's a shame we can't do that all the time. Also, doing it every time. Well, because in the UK you have to stay up all night for it, which is a fun thing, but it always messed me up for my sleep and all that sort of stuff. But
Yeah.
if we lived in the same town, man, on the main
Rap.
event, like the one coming up with Aljo versus
Rap.
Sugar, that's something that you would definitely want to do it for. But it is what it
Rap.
is. But it was a good event. It was definitely great doing that in person.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. But yeah, man, for me as well, like, what have I been up to? Ooh, I'm making a new logo. Well, no, I'm making flyers to head off to Thailand,
Okay,
right?
nice.
So yes, I'm in the. So since we did the video for our thing, it kind of got my creative flow moving. So I started thinking, okay, I need to maybe look at flyers or business cards and things like that. So I kept the momentum going and everything. And yeah, man, it's good to let that expression out sometimes, and it's like to have the excuse to do so. Because when I used to do my YouTube with my guy, I'd always be editing because I'd edit the whole video. Then I stopped doing that, and then the creativity just went dark. So yeah, like I'm back on it now. So I'm kind
Awesome.
of glad. Yeah, because I don't want to pay anybody to do that shit. Fuck it, you
Yeah,
know?
and if you could do it. I mean, the thing is, it does take time, especially when you're getting a consistent thing going. Like you have to find the time, you have to book the time. Like with these podcasts now, before it was always like, with this one and with Kibla, the Geek Out podcast, it was always like, oh yeah, let me know when you're free. Let me know when you're free. And we're just talking the whole day. It's like, oh, okay, we can do it now. Which,
Yeah,
eventually it's like, you know what, I need to be more structured and disciplined, which is why we've scheduled the times and whatnot for this one. I've scheduled time with the one with Kibla. But it does take a lot of time because like the editing, I've been doing a lot of the editing now with our podcast and the Brothers Geek Out podcast, and just finding that time, mixing up with work, mixing up with training, spending time with the missus. It's like, all right, it does take time. But it does get the creative mind going because like even I downloaded the CutCap app and I'm like, oh, this transition here and put the music like even for me, but
it's fun.
it comes down to like I think everything's doable. It's just discipline and timing and routine and fitting it in. You know what I mean? And that's what was one of my key things.
Big, big, big for sure. And as well, like, I told this guy that I'm in the gym with about what we do. And I said, oh, yeah, like we were going to do I did the intro and I had, it's time. And you were like, no, that's copyright. And then my guy was, oh, that's lame. And I was like, that's fine. I just change to this one. And he was like, that must have taken time. And I was like, well, I took a long time to do the intro because G-Man kept asking me. And I'm like, I'll do one. But I didn't have the juices there. So when it came through, it was just like, oh my God, I've got it. and that was it. So yeah, like I guess I got it from my mom because she would just
Mm.
look at something and be like, oh yeah, I can take this and make a pattern with it. And we're on holiday and she's just looking at this. She's like, oh my God, look at this lamp. And I go home and she's got something similar she's made from scratch.
Oh
So
wow.
it's from her.
Oh, she's very
Yeah, it's from
creative.
her.
That's amazing. Yeah,
She's the Matrix code, man.
that's awesome. I mean, a lot of it is just getting started, man. A lot, like I always have a list of things to do, and the hardest part, even with training, even with whatever it is, the hardest part
Just
is just getting
showing
started.
up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once you start it, you're in. You start doing the maths, you start doing
Yeah.
the creative, whatever it is, you start doing your training, you get warmed up. Everything, like a lot of things, is about just getting started. It's like, okay, at 12 p.m., I'm gonna do it. And when that time comes, I do it. Be it I start off with jumping jacks, be it I start off with writing shit down, whatever it is. It's just about starting, and I think the best way to start it is like have that schedule. It like if you were just to be like, yeah, I'll do it whenever, you wouldn't do it. But if you're like at 9 to 10 p.m., I'm gonna spend an hour on that thing, you have to do it during that time period.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
commitment to
On
yourself.
that note, real quick, I need to start a PP, bro. Can I leave you back in a second? Otherwise, hold it. We haven't even talked about fights. I'm gonna be pissing my pants throughout the
Get out of
whole
my
thing.
sight. Get out of
Yeah.
my sight.
Go on, I'll be back in a bit, bro. You can
All
carry
right.
on talking, or I can pause this. You want me to pause it, or if you want to carry on talking to the people, let them know what you're up to.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Why
let them
not?
know your plans. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay. All right. So as I was saying, everybody, morning again. Hope everyone is well. High functioning frequency people. So yeah, heading to Thailand, 14th of September. Everything's booked. Been a bit of a crazy one, just trying to get online work. Trying to be like a digital nomad, expat in the making. And yeah, there's a lot of things to consider. What kind of work to do? Is it going to fit with your timing? Whatever you do, if you're going to go and travel and be an expat, make sure that you have a remote job before you make your move. Whether it's pound, dollar, whatever the currency is, euro, make sure you have that in your background, whether it's admin or customer support, or software engineer, whatever it is, cybersecurity, make sure you have that in the background before you decide to go and live a nomadic lifestyle. It's way easier. Obviously, you might have to get like a digital visa, things like that. These things are all online, so I'm probably not telling you anything different. But in short, if you want to go and do it, make sure you get it done. Enjoy yourself. Life is way too short. There's other options, other opportunities out there. I, for one, have found them. G-Man has found opportunities, in Hong Kong, in Singapore, in Dubai. His wife has found opportunities in Dubai. So, there are possibilities for anybody who wants to leave their comfort zone, be it the Western world or wherever it is that you are, and go and venture out. Go and enjoy yourself. Go and seek new pastures, learn new cultures, eat different food, my favorite, different languages. Go and test the waters. All right. Boom.
Damn, good timing. I just came back. Sorry about
Yeah.
that. You know what?
That's all right, man.
When I say I'm back to my routine, I'm back to my water drinking routine. That's why I need to go
Yes.
toilet, get hydrated, especially in this heat. I'm planning to go jiu-jitsu tonight. I've been doing a little bit of training just to get fit. So I trained a little bit last week. I done a boxing class by the end of the week. And then Saturday, and then my body was destroyed. So I took a day off. And then Saturday, I done the yoga class, my yoga session, and I took Sunday off. So today I'm gonna go back to jiu-jitsu. I know my body's gonna be smashed today. So let's see how I feel for tomorrow. But my plan is to just get back into routine this week. But I'm gonna take my time. I mean, the one thing I've realized as well, because I know I like to rush training and all this sort of stuff, but I'm like, this is forever. This is forever. And one day, for example, when I have kids, I'm gonna have to like sacrifice how many days I go training and whatnot, right? And then one day when they get older, I'm gonna be like, cool, it's all me again. I'm gonna go back to full-time training. So it's gonna be forever, but it's always gonna be on and off. And I'm not trying to be world champion. I'm not trying to be a black belt. I'm just trying to maintain and just keep learning and whatnot. And that stuff will come. Not the world champion part, but the black belt stuff will come.
Yeah, no, that definitely. It's always this time on the match, isn't it? Time, sacrifice, and eventually your coaches will see, all right, he's putting in the work, right? He's
That's
grinding.
it, yeah. And right now, I'm
That,
just so into everything, like the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu, you know, one day I'm gonna have to say, all right, G, like just do the. I think it would just be the jiu-jitsu. Just stick all your time on jiu-jitsu. So when I am at the gym a couple of times a week, because now right now I'm at the gym a couple of times a week, but I'm doing different classes, so I'm not getting specifically hours of jiu-jitsu. I'm getting hours of jiu-jitsu, MMA, wrestling, Muay Thai. So one day it's gonna be like, all right, you're gonna have to just stop with the rest and just focus on the one. Or maybe it doesn't have to. I could always stick to this whole MMA thing anyway, and just slowly just keep rolling. And you know what I mean? End of the day, you know, it's never ending. Of course my body's gonna get older, but yeah, I'm gonna try not to rush into it and put too much pressure on myself. I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I'm like, why? Like, just keep doing it. As long as you don't quit and just keep going, I don't care. Anyway, always a mental battle with me when it comes to training. But
man, that's all of us. But I was gonna say, like, well, first thing I was gonna ask is, are you still gonna compete in BJJ at your weight class?
yeah, I think so. I think this year, I mean, I'm gonna go back, see what's going on, and just jump into something. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm not gonna try and focus all my energy on it. I just want to build up my cardio because I haven't trained in 6 weeks or whatnot. But and just go into it. Like, I look at it as a Saturday roll. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not looking at it as a competition and none of that stuff. I'm not looking at, oh, I have to win. No. I just want to go in as a Saturday roll, rolling with someone my weight class, basically. That's what the plan is for that. So I'm not even looking at it as a competition.
Okay. Well, that's good then. And yeah, what you're saying about the whole discipline and long term, it's a whole marathon, isn't it? When we train, and I guess as you get to a certain age, like you said about like feeling like, more exhausted, we have to like train smarter as we get older. And I remember watching remember like Chris Jericho from wrestling and DDP.
Yeah.
Diamond Dallas Page, right? DDP stopped wrestling and became quite a well-known yoga instructor.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember he was talking to like Chris Jericho went and did the treatment and or sessions, and he said that he was getting issues with his body from like consistently lifting heavy weights and so on, and he moved away from that and kind of got more balance in his body and trained more smarter. Another example is Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he even said the same thing as well. Obviously, Muscles from Brussels, big guy, and he said, over time I had to like realize that my joints aren't the same anymore. So he started to do more training where he would go against the wall, and he still does weights, but not as heavy, more reps, lighter weights. You probably heard the term before. And then he would push against the wall. So it was like just being aware of your body and what you're capable of doing and leaving the ego, because Macho Man's like, yeah, I can still do this. At like 45, you're trying to lift like 200 pounds. So it's just being smart, isn't it? So
yeah. I mean, those wrestlers. I mean, people. I know wrestling is choreographed, right? But it's
hurts though.
Slam. Yeah, they smash their bodies. They're stuntmen. They smash their bodies into a canvas thousands of times, and they got to come back every week. Really, it's choreographed, but man, the damage they put on their body is horrific. Real. So that's why DDP, he made that yoga thing. He was on Rogan's podcast talking about it, and a lot of wrestlers, it benefits them a lot. And even outside of wrestling, he was showing how it helped people outside of wrestling who had like spinal problems and all that sort of stuff.
The paratrooper.
Did you watch that one? The one who couldn't run. Or exactly.
And he was up on his head. Yes. Right.
So amazing. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, look, I'm not, at the end of the day, it's not my career or whatnot, but I just love it. That's why I keep doing it. The only thing is I've got such a love for all the forms, and I just want to do MMA, which is why I can't like fixate myself and just like, just stick to jiu-jitsu or otherwise I will go every day and just do the one and just be better at that one and spending more time there. But because I'm so fixated on the striking, as the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu, the MMA, it's like I got to distribute the time as evenly as possible and to the best of my capabilities. Otherwise, honestly, I mean, I think if I just picked one, jiu-jitsu, for example, then bro, I'll be spending 5 hours a week on the mats of jiu-jitsu rather than 1.5 or 2. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, I just got a love for wrestling. If I didn't do wrestling now because I've got the availability at this gym, I'll be like, oh, I'm missing out. I should learn some. Or if I, kickboxing, I'm like, oh, I'm missing out. I should do something. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's the other thing, and I'm not a professional MMA fighter. It's not my job. So I can't do 2-3 sessions a day like I used to anyway, and cover so many different classes. So it's about, for me, I'm just trying to find my balance, understand what I love. I love it all, and just like be content with, all right, listen, it's cool that you're doing jiu-jitsu once a week, but you're still doing wrestling the next day, you're doing MMA the next day, you're doing Muay Thai the next day, the boxing the next day. You're getting a lot all in, rather than me comparing myself to some young buck who's coming to the gym, jiu-jitsu, and he's doing it 5 days a week, and of course he's going to expand that way. But I got to put my head aside. So look, you're not doing the same thing. You're fascinated over all the martial arts that's available rather than just the one. So yeah, it's always a mind battle, but at the end of the day, I got to keep going. So today's jiu-jitsu. I know it's going to hurt my body, but I need to do it. I need to get my body starting conditioning on it again. So let's go, man, tonight.
Why not? Last thing before we get to the fights, have you heard about the final game of death for Bruce Lee? The last 40 minutes of the uncut footage that hasn't been seen before.
No, I haven't heard about that. I heard about the anime that's coming up, but not this deleted footage. No.
Okay, so it's like real quick, it's like 3 hours kind of documentary kind of thing, and it goes into his concept of what Game of Death was meant to be, and also Tower of Death, right? With the pagoda, Abdul Karim Jabbar, all this kind of thing. So yeah, so it explains that, the choreography, the mindset, the ideas, the camera angles, all of that, like for the first like couple hours, and then it goes to the very ending of the footage we've seen of him fighting Dan Inosanto, and those other two guys with him, and he has nunchuck, all of that. Like, it has 40 minutes of what we hadn't seen for 40 years, and one scene called the log fight, where one of these guys who's his friends who go up the pagoda with him, he fights Danny Inosanto with a log.
Oh damn! Okay, I never knew about this.
Danny Inosanto's he's got 2 Kali sticks, the small ones, and he dismantles him, and then eventually Bruce comes and deals with him.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really, really cool, man.
That's awesome. I don't think I've seen that. I don't think I have. Yeah, or heard about that.
It's never been seen for 40 years, man. The log scene was lost footage.
Damn.
Yeah, and even the dialogue as well. Some of it, like, because it was filmed out of order, because Bruce came and did Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's bit because he had a limited time, and then he kind of went away and came back. So that's why we only have like that. We don't have the beginning of the whole movie, because he
got it
passed, and he filmed it out of order. But it's really nice, man. It's the art form and the intelligence and philosophy he put behind the fights and the movement. It took me away, honestly.
Wicked. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. I need to check that out. I need to, if there's a copy on YouTube or whatever, I need to check that out.
I'll fling you something somewhere, man. You gotta see it. Man. You gotta see it.
Awesome. Cool, man. Well, on that note, talking about fights, should we get into the fights? I mean, should we start off with last week's ones real quick, and then and then we'll come on to the new one. We could just talk about the main fight. We don't have to go through the whole card, to be honest with you, and just any main ones. But do you want to start with that? Do you want to start with the Jake Paul, Nate Diaz? How did, like
quickly even Anthony Joshua?
Even Anthony Joshua, he fought this week as well. Yeah,
he fought this week as well. Yeah, I mean, but let's go. Let's take it back. Let's take it back to Sandhagen, because I saw most of that card. Actually. Okay. So like, since
we got a lot to cover, why don't we just cover like some of the main ones rather than going through the whole thing?
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, bro, Rob Font stepping in, right, short notice. It was supposed to be Umar, which was an exciting fight, man, but he got injured, obviously. But I think Cory Sandhagen, and I think he makes a great. The reason why I think he's exciting, right, is he's like, I took on the Umar fight because I don't want to be champion. And I want to be champion knowing that I beat all the best. You know what I mean? I don't want to just get up to the championship and try and duck guys or whatever. No, I'm going to just fight through everyone. That means I deserve the championship, which is why he went for Umar, because he's a dangerous opponent. But then, he fought against Rob Font. Rob Font's an amazing boxer.
Oh man,
And
his jab.
Sandhagen's striking's amazing as well. But I think
Yeah,
Sandhagen done the smart move. It's like, you know what, short
yeah,
notice, I need to
yeah,
show why I'm the best.
yeah,
And why I could beat it. And he used the best
yeah,
advantage, which was the wrestling. Some
yeah.
people said it was a boring
Wrestling.
fight, but I thought it was amazing just strategy-wise.
It's a
And
smart
then he
fight.
used the
Yeah,
wrestling, he dominated. And, it was some great scrambles as well, but ultimately he had control through some
yeah,
ground and pound. He went for some submission attempts. And Rob Font was just,
yeah,
again,
yeah. He
he's
did.
he's on top of the league as well. So he was able to kind of stop some of those submission attempts like the DAS and all that sort of stuff. So I think it was a
Yeah,
great strategic fight, man. And kudos
I
to
think
Rob
so
Font
too.
as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I did think it was going to be a crazy fight, as you did too, because what they bring to the table. But Cory did. He fought a smart fight. It wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing for the amateur crowd, but they're not fighting for them as well. Yeah, they're fighting for themselves, really. So, yeah, man, smart fight. I think it doesn't really lose much stock for Font, right? He's still gonna be around, because he's a he's not no bum. Like he's what third, fourth,
I think he's like third. He's got to be third now. Let me check the
third,
rankings.
fourth. Rob Font. I've heard Rob Font's name for a long time and been like, how come he hasn't fought number one contender fight or whatever yet? But I guess this was it,
Yeah,
right? Or close
Corey's
to
number
it,
four. Corey's number four.
right?
Yeah. Rob
Font's like
Font's number
fifth, sixth.
seven. Yeah, Henry
Okay,
Cejudo jumped in there, but being number three. You got Merab at one,
right.
Sean O'Malley at two, Henry Cejudo
Okay,
three, Corey four.
okay, okay,
I
okay,
think what would be good for
okay.
Rob Font after this is Petroyan at five. Petroyan's at five. I mean, that would be a great fight for Rob.
Ooh, that probably
You
go
know,
the same way, wouldn't it? He just probably like obviously Petrian's great on the feet, but the wrestling, like the division has seen Rob Font's weakness now, if they haven't before, because I haven't seen him get out wrestled like that. Have you?
no, I
Before Font,
haven't. I haven't. I don't know if it's a weakness. I just think Corey Sandhagen just was
just a great wrestler.
just better at wrestling. You know what I mean? Just was able to kind of
Okay,
control it. But I don't know if it was a weakness or
okay,
whatnot. But I mean, it's definitely a strategy against him. But Petroyan, he's good at wrestling, but he likes to strike too. Marlon Vera is good at striking. So that could be another one for him. Um, but yeah, I mean, Corey Sandhagen again, I think he solidified himself to at least get the title shot, or maybe fight Marab at number one, because Marab's not
that
going to
makes
fight
sense.
Aljo.
He's
So
not fight.
Marab versus
Yeah,
thing. And then, Umar, once he gets recovered, maybe he can take on a Marlon Vera or Petroyan or, see what happens to the division after that.
it's crazy. Remember we talked about this when I was on the beach in Samui, and we were like, oh, Umar might as well make noise and come and fight one of these top guys. Remember we were talking about it, and then it happened, and then it didn't happen. It's like, oh man,
Yeah,
we called this like 3 months ago.
man. I mean, it's exciting. I mean, it would have been an amazing fight, and it really would have seen what Umar's about and whatnot. And if
Mm,
Sandhagen beat Umar in that sort of fashion, then you're like, damn, like Sandhagen does 100% deserves to be at the top,
yeah,
which he does
yeah.
anyway. But I think,
Mhm.
exciting fight, you know, I don't think it was, you could say it was boring, but I found it interesting. I just found it more strategic. So I
Mm.
like that.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I put it out there for the casual fans who don't see it. It
Yeah.
was a boring fight, right? But it's just like Aljo when he fought is it Cejudo or was it who did he fight and he just wrestled them mostly? He just shot for takedowns.
Could have been
Cejudo.
shoot Cejudo or Petro first, the first one against Petro. No, I can't remember to be honest.
No, not that one, not that one. Anyway, it's yeah, it was that fight. It was because remember he beat Cejudo, they booed, right? Because he he just shot for takedowns a lot and out wrestled him and controlled him a lot of the fight. You remember that one?
Think so.
And they
Think so.
booed him,
I
but then
mean,
he obviously got the record.
well, that goes how shows how, because I remember in that fight anyway, he took down Cejudo. I mean, that shows how good
Yeah,
Aljo is as a wrestler. He took down an Olympic
yeah,
wrestler and stuff. But
one of the
yeah,
like
no,
big
all
fight,
good.
but had to be done.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I mean, moving on, I think we should just talk about this one and then move on to another card. Was
Sure.
Tatiana Suarez versus Jessica Andrade. And Tatiana, she's like, they
Damn.
can't keep telling her like she's like the female Khabib, man. And she's gone through a lot, right, with
Yeah.
injuries and all this sort of stuff. But she's coming out like the female Khabib that they're saying, man, just dominating with the grappling, non-stop pressure with the grappling and shooting after shooting. And she ended up getting a choke or a dance or something? I can't remember exactly the submission. It was a week ago, but
I think it was a dance, but it was clean. It was so
nice.
clean.
I mean, she's definitely exciting. And the strawweight fight, we got the Zhang Wei Li's fighting in what, 2 weeks or something? So it'll be interesting. She's fighting what's her name, man?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Brazilian woman. There we go.
Oh, wait, in UFC?
Amanda Lemos.
Oh, yeah, I see it now. Yeah, okay. Oof, all right, let's jump back. So that card's exciting, man. My eyes went up.
Yeah. So yeah, no, listen, what you think of Tatiana Suarez?
Tatiana Suarez. I didn't even like I didn't realize she had been undefeated all this time because I kind of see her a little bit, then I don't see her, and when I don't see her, I think, oh, she lost and she's taken some time. But yeah, like like you said, it's just been injuries. She's a really great fighter, digs deep, puts it all together pretty well, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she does for the future. Yeah, she's got my vote. Put it that way.
Yeah, exciting, definitely exciting.
Something new for the division, isn't it?
Yeah,
we've had Andrade on top for a while. She was champion before. She slammed Rose. She's done some crazy feats in her time. But yeah, to get some fresh blood in there, it's always going to be exciting. So yeah, I'm happy for it.
Definitely. Cool. Should we move on to this week's card? And then after we can finish off with the boxing stuff that's been happening, which again, I'm not familiar with, but just worth talking about it. So this week we had
the boxing stuff now, because that's in between, right? We got old, new. Jake Paul.
Yeah, we could do, or I mean, we could just keep it MMA and then boxing, right?
Fine. Go for it.
Should we just finish off with this week's? I mean, to be honest with you, I watched, like I said, I can't summon the fights like I used to because I don't have Fight Pass anymore. But so I was supposed to wake up at 3 a.m. I ended up waking up at 5. I watched the last 2 fights and I watched some highlights. But Vicente Luque versus Dos Anjos. I mean, look, Vicente.
Watch it, you know.
Yeah, Vicente went through some. He got, I think he was knocked out in his last fight, if I remember correctly.
Brain damage, hemorrhage or something.
Yes, and he had some issues as well and whatnot, which was scary. And then Rafael dos Anjos coming up at the welterweight division again. He's 15. He's Dos Anjos is a champion. He's been around for the longest. He's fought the who's who, all that sort of stuff. I mean, I guess this was a good for Vicente. This was like a comeback in the sense, like, can he overcome what he went through, which he obviously did? And he was just fighting smart. And he was even honest with, like, I was scared about getting hit in the beginning and all that sort of stuff. And a lot of this fight was a grueling up against the cage, push up against the cage. But it was great scrambles between both of them. That's what was exciting, that their skill sets were both amazing and kind of equal, that they were scrambling, reversing who can against the cage and all that sort of stuff. It was actually really exciting, but ultimately Vicente took the win by decision. But I thought it was a great fight and it was a grueling fight, man.
Okay. Would you say like there was no robbery? It was a clean win? Would you say like Luque definitely won that fight?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a robbery or anything, but yeah, he won that fight. I think he dominated against the cage a lot more. He shot a lot more. But Dos Anjos hit him with a few strikes. Was able, like I said, a lot of scrambles. So it was definitely I wouldn't say it was a robbery, but it was an even sort of fight. And with Vicente Luque knowing what he's done before, because he was always like, I'm gonna take a strike to give a strike and knock a dude out.
Yeah,
but
rapid,
this one was just different. He was like, maybe that's what I expected to see, a striking battle, but he shot a lot, clinched a lot. But I think maybe, to protect his head a little bit and just be smart with it as well. Like, be smart, you know what I mean? I know you like the knockout and stuff, but if there's another way of winning, this is MMA end of the day. You don't have to knock him out. And, it's about being strategic and stuff as well. So yeah, it was great performance from him, I think.
Okay, yeah, I'll watch that. Yesterday was really crazy. I didn't get time to watch any of them, and then I ended up falling asleep early because I was just like, my body was dead. But I'm gonna watch them.
Yeah, check it out. I mean, the one before I saw Swanson versus Hakeem Dawodu. Again, great. That was a good back and forth striking battle. I think Dawodu, because Cub he's got a record and he's got a name for just freaking having exciting fights, right? And it was important for Hakeem to be strategic and not get into a brawl. So there were certain scenes certain parts where you see them get into a brawl, and it's kind of like, Hakeem, you're going into Cub's game right now. That's exactly what Cub wants. But ultimately, I mean, look, it did look like Hakeem won that fight. It did, but because he had overall significant strikes all over the body, whereas Cub had more strikes on the head and whatnot. Even Cub said it, like, he goes, I did, even in the interview, he was like, I don't know if I won, but I have to go back and watch it. But Cub's a legend. I remember meeting him in Ireland when I want to watch McGregor fight, and I got a picture with Cub and met him. But yeah, no, exciting fight, good striking battle. Cub's still in there, showing that he's in there. I think he's got a reputation of like having balls and whatnot, but he's getting, getting up there. So he's just gonna be smart with things. But I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say it was a robbery, but maybe. I don't know. It's judges, and what can you do? But it's a shame on Dawodu because he's young, he's up and coming. This kind of could take an impact on his pay and all that sort of stuff. But it was definitely a great fight to watch.
Right.
The next,
I heard Cub. Sorry, I heard Cub say that he said the same thing to his corner. I think I lost that. He said, "No, you're 2 up. You're 2-1 up."
Okay. So. It's always tough, isn't it? It's always tough. Well, the next fight, there was no decision.
I haven't seen this one either, but
there's no robbery or nothing there. But yeah, performance of the night went to Khalil Rountree. Now, I didn't see the fight. I just saw the knockdown, which was a beautiful straight left that came from him and just knocked him out. And what I noticed about Khalil, he's vicious when someone knocks someone down, like the opponent always kind of jumps on top and throws like ground and pound. Khalil was very takes his time, but he falls vicious at ground and pound, or like, how do I put it? Like, even like he kicks to the body when someone's down on the floor. He kicks them in the body. He's very like calm and fucking menacing when it comes down to the ground and pound, or when he knocks someone down. He doesn't rush in. He just menacing slowly goes in and just throws with menacing destruction, boy. It's crazy. I like the way he fights.
I see the knock that the finish now is a left straight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Damn.
Beautiful straight as well. It wasn't like looping, it was very clean. Like it came very clean. Yeah.
Was he using the Muay Thai style again?
I didn't see the whole fight, to be honest with you, man. Like I said, man, now that I've got access to BT Sports, I need to condition myself to wake up early and watch the fights. But this time was a 3 a.m. one. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. So I missed the fight. I just watched the replay.
Now I see it now. Now it's clean. Like he thought, he does put it well together. But I guess against like the upper echelon of the fighters, he's just missing that cutting edge, isn't it?
Yeah, he's definitely great striker and whatnot. The last one I can't remember. He done that oblique kick or the stepping side kick to the knee as the guy was jabbing. I think that was the last fight, one of the fights. He's he's amazing, but he's like brutal, man. Like the way he strikes, the way he puts things together, he's very brutal.
I'll watch that because just the transformation of him prior, then going to Thailand, coming back, and then coming up like Tong Po from damn like kickboxer, and then he kind of just like lost his way a bit. So I'm always intrigued to see what version of him comes. When he was on that Muay Thai like flex, he looked scary. And
there was that one fight. Yeah, there was that one fight specifically that was so good. I can't remember who it was, but he
pumping oh man,
so good.
We don't see people like that, just almost pure Muay Thai, other than in one championship, in an MMA fight. He's the only one I've seen in UFC to come up with that, like, very Muay Thai based stance. So it was different to see.
Yeah, no, he's definitely exciting to watch. I mean,
definitely.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, look, again, the rest of the card I didn't catch, and I know we got a lot to catch up on today, so let's just kind of get back. Let's get to the boxing, man. Next week, quickly to finish up MMA. Next week, UFC 292, Sean O'Malley versus Sterling. It's going to be an exciting card. I'm going to be up for that one.
Wait, this weekend, no?
Yeah, the 20th. Yeah, this weekend. In
19th,
Boston.
boom.
So exciting. Let's try and record our reactions again. I know we're not going to be together, but let's just try and keep the camera on, and
Okay.
we'll react to
All
it.
right. Yeah. No.
So
Definitely.
it's never going to be the same because being together is different energy, but it's
Yeah.
worth having our reactions
I was
there.
thinking, yeah, we should do it, and it's gonna be like my friends and my good friend. It's his birthday coming up, so I said, look, let's do something for that, and we chose Saturday, and I was like, oh, there's also the fight, so we can also. And he's the guy who I messaged when we were fighting. I said, why aren't you here? Like, you should be here. He's that guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, let's
So
well, that'd be awesome if you're with
go.
your friend, record the reaction.
Yes.
We could I tell you what, by the end of this week, let's do a quick 60-second short each about our predictions. So we'll upload that on the channel. So guys, look out for that one. We'll give our predictions on the main event this week. So keep an eye out for that. But exciting fight, man. You got Sean O'Malley versus Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley. You got Zhang Weili versus Amanda Lemos. Then you got Neil Magny versus Ian Gary. Kobe Garbrandt, which I heard might be injured actually.
He's out. Okay, he's out of the fight.
He's out. Okay. You got Marlon Vera versus Pedro Munoz. Chris Weidman's coming back after that horrific injury, the leg break event against Brad Tavares. Yeah, man. Exciting card.
Damn. Yeah. Nah. I didn't know Weidman was coming around for this one. I'd heard he was training, he's feeling better, and so on, and he's training smarter. And I think he wants to go for the championship again, right? I think that's what he was saying.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's always been difficult, people coming back from that injury. I mean, like Anderson Silva did it, but he went a bit on a slump then, and a couple of people from kickboxing. Kickboxing happens, I guess, a bit more often. But let's see how Weidman comes back, and maybe his strategy maybe he'll be hesitant to kick with that leg. I don't know. Maybe to break that confidence, he might go for a kick. Maybe he'll just play his wrestling game and just play wrestling really. But let's see, man. Let's do anyway. Look, guys, look out for the shorts that will come up by the end of this week. We will do our predictions.
And we want to hear your predictions. We want to hear what you guys think about these fights. Like Anjos, Sean, Zhang Weili, Lemos, like give us what you believe is going to be the outcome of that.
Yeah, comment below. Comment below.
Cool.
Cool.
Zhang Weili fight Lemos, it's not being broadcast, it's not pushed anywhere. Do you feel that? Like I don't feel like it's not talked about much.
I saw it on the countdown. I mean, obviously.
But
I don't think, no, I mean, because Aljo Sugar is taking the show, right? And Sugar's, Aljo and Sugar is what's the main thing about this fight,
the main thing.
So,
but still, like we've had cards where the main show is the main show, but the second fight or the third fight still exciting. This one, I almost didn't even realize she was fighting until I think the concierge said to me, "Oh, Zhang Weili's fighting." I was like, "When?" He said, "This." Normally you hear some things. If it's Rose, you know Rose is fighting, or Sheva or Nunez or something. But this one is really quiet, in my opinion. I feel like I hope that it does surprise everybody, because for me, it's not getting that much love.
Well, Zhang's been in some exciting fights. She's been one of the greatest female or greatest fights ever against Joanna Jędrzejczyk, right? So she's excited. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a good point. I mean, I guess even my excitement's towards Aljo and Sugar to see, if Aljo, it's exciting. That's probably where that's where the hype is. There's a lot of friction between them guys. Sugar's up and coming kid. He's made a lot of noise himself. Aljo's just showing his dominance. I think, there was a point where Aljo, when he won the title in that way, and everyone was just like questioning him, and then he showed his dominance. At the end of the day, he beat Cejudo, he beat Petroyan, dominated him. There's no question. If he can beat Sugar, I mean, that would be amazing for him. And people got to respect his name. I mean, you got to respect his name anyway, but he deserves the respect.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be, how do you see that fight going? I think it's going to be a wrestling heavy affair. He's going to backpack him.
Don't forget what Aljo did to Sandhagen. Took his back, choked him out, done. Don't be surprised that this will happen in this fight as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I fully agree with you.
He's like a backpack king, man. He's great at the backpack.
King.
Yeah. So don't be surprised if that happens in this one. I'm not putting Sugar out. Sugar's amazing, great skill set, very smart. He uses his length well. He's striking, he's powerful, he can knock out, whatnot. But don't be surprised if Aljo gets in close, takes the back, chokes him out, plays the
Yeah.
backpack game.
It's the smartest way. It's the smartest way. The
Yeah,
smartest way.
definitely.
So I can see that happening. I feel like Aljamain for the win all day.
Yeah, I can see that
Unless he
happening
gets
too.
caught.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless he gets caught.
That's
You know.
it. Cool, man. Well, look, let's finish off with the boxing.
Yeah.
I know last week we had boxing last week and this week. I'd be honest again because I do not follow boxing. I didn't even know AJ was fighting, so I don't know if you saw that fight. I just saw loads of things with McGregor after, so I
Yeah.
don't know. So I can't comment on that. I mean,
Oh
last week's fight, I didn't
yeah.
even watch the Nate Diaz. I saw highlights. And I saw Joe Rogan's fight companion and their reaction to it as well. It
Yeah.
seemed like a very fun fight. Again, like reason why I don't watch it is one, I don't follow boxing too much. Two, I was traveling back to Dubai anyway. But it
Yeah, we
seemed very
know.
exciting, very back and forth. Diaz does what Diaz, he can take a shot and he can move forward. He's got a very awkward style. You know, Jake did knock him down. I think it was one of the last rounds, which probably gave him the
I think
edge.
it was early, no?
Was it early?
I think it was
Yeah.
an earlier knockdown. Yeah, I think it was
And
early.
then I heard like Diaz does what he does best, which he gives a lot of pitter-patter shots followed by a hard shot. So he definitely rocked Jake and gave him a good run for his money for a 40-year-old guy who's gone through wars. You know, he's definitely you know, put up a good fight. Did you catch the fight? What was your thoughts?
I didn't catch much of it because of most of the reasons what you said, which is I don't really watch boxing, and I kind of didn't like the idea of this fight because of all the reasons that we spoke about before. You know, Diaz age, not training as much. Obviously, Jake's a younger fighter, bit more weight behind him, and all these kind of. It just seemed like a very bad idea for Nate, and that's what I didn't like. You know, we always hate when legends go and have to go put themselves through damage and needlessly. So I didn't see much of it. I'd hoped that somehow Nate, the experience would beat him, but I also kind of felt like it's a tough one, you know. So I didn't see it. I think Nate's going to go back to the UFC. I think I heard. So he didn't lose anything really, and he made a lot of money.
Nate's one of those guys, and he's been doing this for a while. He's built up such a reputation and a fan base that when he loses, he wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always. So he's just amazing like that. And yeah, he's been complimentary towards the UFC. He's thinking of going back there. Dana and them love him anyway. They can make that Conor McGregor fight really and make, you know what I mean? They could do that really. So I reckon he'll do that. But Jake's offered him that $10 million deal with fighting in the PFO and MMA. I mean, Nate's a free agent. Why not do both? Why not go beat Jake? He could listen. I really don't see Jake beating him in MMA just because of the jiu-jitsu and the experience there. But yeah, doing that and then also going and fighting the McGregor fight. That's two big money fights that Nate can make, and then right after the sunset, or do whatever the hell he wants. With Jake, I did see his Netflix documentary that he brought out. You know, I've always said, like, you know, I give him credit. He trains hard. He moved to Puerto Rico to train hard and whatnot and take this boxing stuff serious. So I know people didn't want to consider him as a boxer, but all the effort he's put in, you have to. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, he trains harder than me. He trains harder than the average Joe. He trains hard like a boxer, and he puts it all together. The recovery, the meditation, the whole physical training 2 to 3 times a day. I mean, he stopped all the YouTube shit. He does it he does the YouTube shit, but he stopped that part of it. So he's a young boxer. Only reason why he got all the hate is because he was a YouTube guy. But when you see the effort that he's put in, you got to give him credit. Listen, he picked and chooses fights because he's smart. And in the documentary, I didn't know he teamed up with someone who was like an ex-UFC, high-level UFC guy. And they put this narrative together. Like, it's a storyline of, you know, let's chase Dana White in the UFC and beat these old MMA. Just absolutely smart marketing. Listen, UFC are the best marketing machine, right? So they done the same sort of thing as a marketing machine for him to attack all the MMA guys and the UFC and stuff and fighter pay and whatnot. Storytelling and just character building. It's like a movie. Absolutely amazing marketing machine. So it was genius. It was actually, I was like, wow, it's genius. I hate what you did, but it was actually genius and it worked. It worked up to, you know, it worked really. So, you know, good for him.
You know, I did. Wow. I'm speechless. It reminds me of like something like a shoot that the WWE would do. One in particular, I don't know if you remember this. Like Randy Orton was the legend killer, going and taking on these old guys. Remember, he took out Ric Flair, he took out I think Undertaker. Like it reminds me of this storyline kind of thing. That's amazing that he had that under his belt. That's one way to take on the big boys, you know?
Yeah, and I think, and to be honest
Very
with you,
cool.
yes, he brought to attention fighter pay order, so, but I think a lot of it was just marketing machine.
Just
You know,
talk. Yeah,
of course,
yeah,
if he was to able to change things, he would have done it. But it was about
yeah,
marketing machine. He's bro, they're
yeah.
amazing at that whole thing, and just teaming up with that UFC
Absolutely.
guy. It just builds a
Yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah.
storyline around his career, and he knew that people hating me is what's going to get me the pay-per-views, just like Mayweather,
Cover.
just like
Yeah,
McGregor, just anyone
yeah,
who's done it, they
yeah.
know that's the game, and he played it very well. So you can't hate him on it. So yeah,
Yeah,
exciting. I think
it's
if he
incredible.
fights Nate in an MMA fight next, that would be amazing. If he fights another boxer, I mean, he's got to move away from the MMA guys eventually and move into the boxing thing.
Yeah,
But
yes,
yeah,
yes.
I give him credit.
Wow.
I did want Nate to win,
Yeah,
but I give him credit. I give him
yes,
credit.
I agree. On this channel, everybody, we see it as it is, which is, we don't necessarily believe he's the best thing since sliced bread, but he put in the work. We respect what he does as an athlete. Um, and there's no denying it. I think there's a massive division between are you for Jake or against Jake. He now has that kind of fan base, which you just want to see him win or lose. Like Colby, like Connor, in a sense, you want to see something happen with him, negative or positive. So he's built that up. He's performed, and yeah, like I feel like people need to stop hating on him. Like they need to see that he's doing what a lot of people wouldn't even dare to do, and he's making
Exactly.
it look fairly easy in a sense.
I mean,
You know,
I don't know about
albeit
easy.
he's fighting older guys, right? He's
Yes.
fighting older MMA guys, so that's what I mean. Like making it look easy because he's taking on these big boys' experience, but he's doing it. But at the same time, he's fighting low hanging fruit in a sense,
Yeah,
right?
and he has been getting he's getting
He's
hit by
doing
these MMA guys. Like they're not the boxing is not their like so fighting considering fighting older guys, young like not just older but they're lighter weighter than him, and he's getting
it.
hit and whatnot. He's still got a lot to work on because there's against
Of
you
course,
saw it against Tommy Fury, a proper boxer,
yeah,
just that
yeah.
traditional boxing style.
Struggle
He
with
was
it.
able to kind of beat him or whatnot. So he's got a lot to work, but he's training. He's probably training right now. I mean, that's where you got to give him
He's
credit.
on
He's
it.
putting the
Yeah,
work in. So he's not just like any other YouTube fighter now. He is a boxer. The rest are still YouTube fighters. He's a
respectfully.
boxer.
Yeah,
He stopped all that
yeah.
YouTube shit to do his boxing. So I give him credit for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On
Well, look,
Connor's note,
what's
did
that?
you did you because you mentioned Connor, right? Did you see what he did afterwards? He called out KSI.
Yes, I saw on the AJ fight. I was going to talk about
So
it. So
that part.
first of all, did you watch the
Oh, it's
AJ fight?
AJ. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, sorry, sorry.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was in that one. Carry on,
Did
please.
you watch the AJ fight? I didn't watch it, so I don't know. I didn't know he was fighting, to be
Oh,
honest with you. I don't know.
I okay. I heard it from my client because my client was like da, 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 and AJ and so on, and I was just like, huh? And then I was like, he's fighting this? No, no, no. Aljamain's fighting next week. He's like, no, no. Anthony Joshua. I was like, oh, and that's when I realized I only saw the highlights of it, and it's funny. The commentator was like, okay, take him out, like now, like do something. They wanted him to take him out early because the other guy, he's a decent counter puncher and he can get it's heavyweight. One wrong move and it's out, right? So they kept saying to him like, why is he not finishing him? Like just finish him. And eventually he did the 1-2, I think. Or, no, it was a 1-2 down the pipe, straight right hand, finished him like almost like a touch of death.
Mm.
But they were just saying like, he just seems like he's thinking too much. And it did seem very hesitant because he was hitting the guy. You just needed to throw in a couple combinations, feint, and then the opening was there. But I know he's going through his mental battle, so it is what it is. But Deontay Wilder next for
Is
AJ.
that? I mean, they keep saying
That's
that, right? And
what
that's the
said.
fight we always wanted. So are they
That
gonna
is what
make it?
that's what said. I mean, the Deontay Wilder beat Hellenius, I think pretty much like in spectacular fashion, and it was meant to be said that okay, well, that's the next fight for AJ if it happens, and it's happened. So we'll see. But you know how it is in boxing. We don't get the fights we need to in their prime and so on. You know, it's not like MMA or UFC. So we'll see.
Cool, man. Well, look, I mean, I hope that fight comes. Listen, I don't watch boxing much, but I'll try my best to watch that one because that's exciting. With them big dogs and and I with the heavyweight fights and whatnot. So yeah, no, I mean, I don't know much about AJ, but I just do know that they put a lot of pressure on him, and fans are toxic,
Massive.
man. One day you're behind him, the next day you're cussing him, and just because he
Fickle.
loses, and no one will ever have the guts to
Fickle.
get into the ring and do what any of these
Yeah.
people do. So fans can be very toxic, and I see people on
Mm.
Instagram and talking all this shit, and I'm just like I mean, when I go sparring boxing, it's fucking difficult in my like I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna
Mm.
get hit, I gotta move. It's just
Mm.
hard work. Like these guys who want to custom, they don't even train boxing. They don't even they might hit a bag or pads,
Mm.
but they don't even spar and
Mm-hmm.
get
Mm-hmm.
humbled in the gym by some young kid or whatever. They have no idea. But it's easy for them to be like, oh, AJ's a bitch or whatever. I mean, the guy is
Mm.
one of is proven to be one of the best fighters, right? As a champion or whatnot. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's got his ups. He's not. You know, he has his downs, but people just give up on him, and I hate that shit about boxing or just fans in
Mm.
general. I hate that. But you know, I mean,
Me
I wish
too,
him all
man.
the best, and I hope he does have that Wilder fight. He should do. Just have those legacy fights, man. Have
Yeah.
that Wilder fight. Have the Tyson Fury fight, which we've been asking for ages. I don't know if they'll ever happen, but those are the
Uh,
fights that just have. And win, lose, or draw, at least you had them. Cool, I'm done. I made
yeah.
millions. You know, there's nothing else to.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You know.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I also hate when that happens, when the fans get really nasty and get personal as well. And it's like, you don't even know my life. Like, I'm trying to feed my family here, and you're on my back. Like, but you know what? That's why it's those people who are on that pedestal and they're able to just shield out all that noise and just do their thing. Win, lose, or draw, they take it all in stride and they keep it moving. Like that's very difficult to do.
Mm, yeah,
Very,
definitely.
very difficult.
They're different people, man. Different mentalities.
Yeah.
These martial artists, these boxers, they have a different mentality because they were on the public stage
Yes.
fighting.
All the
You
time.
know,
Boom,
yeah,
boom, boom.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the way they get over it mentally is absolutely the strongest thing. You know, so one thing I always say, like
Mm,
these fighters, no matter what boxing MMA, the way they get over adversity mentally, whether it's in a fight or after a loss or a knockout, whatever it is,
mm,
that's an
mm,
inspiring thing, man. That's that true definition of getting up. Well, I'm trying to use the
mm,
Batman quote, but why do we fall? So we can learn how to learn how to get up. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but you know what I mean? And just overcoming that, man, because that's a scary thing, man.
mm,
Even with me, bro, when I injured myself training for a fight, I know how it
mm,
was mentally for me to get back and then be confident to say, "Oh, I want to try and fight again," and it never happened anyway. And but to be honest with you, I was fucking terrified, and I'm kind of like, I don't want to fight. Like, I don't want to. I don't have that mental that they have. So considering that they go
mm,
through this injuries and knockouts and whatnot, I went through an aspect of what they went through not even on a professional level, on an amateur level. And even
mm,
me was like, fuck that, man. I don't want to do that. Why am I doing that? And my excuse was like, why am I doing that? I'm not a fighter. Fuck this, man. I'm just gonna
mm.
recover and get back into training. I don't need to fight. But that's my mental. That's my mental. I don't want to call myself weak, but what I'm saying, I just understand what they're going through, and I know it's not an easy thing to
Yeah.
overcome. I mean, yes, I got back
Yeah.
into training, I'm fully good to go, but to just be like, oh, I'm gonna recover in a year and try and fight again. Nah, man, my brain was like, nah, let's take a rest, fuck this fighting shit. Let's just get back into training. And that's because I know I'm not a fighter. I know mentally, I don't like that shit. I just did it to, overcome fear and to test myself as I was getting into martial arts. I've done a couple
Mm,
fights. All right, I'm done. I don't want to do that no more. Like I said, I'll try and compete in jiu-jitsu, but I'm going to look at that as just rolling. If an MMA one comes up, I'll look at that. I'll try my best. But
mm.
with the
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu ones, I mean, I'll take it serious. Don't get me wrong. Of
Mm,
course, jiu-jitsu is serious and whatnot. But I just want to look
naturally.
at it as just go there on the Saturday roll and just have a roll with someone, get tapped out. Cool. I don't care. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Fans who are toxic towards professional athletes is a horrible thing, man.
It's quite sad. But you know what? Your fear, their fear, like it's all real. And like when you hear fighters, if you're an ex-fighter, whatever level you're at, you're ex-fighter. Like when you hear them talk about like their experiences, it's some of them they said the same thing. Like I didn't want to fight. Like I feel butterflies. I feel like overwhelmed when I'm walking through the audience to get to the cage, but they do it, and it's all valid. It's all the same. Same fear is fear, regardless, and they still go and do it anyway, So it's real. It's real. I'm sure there's a lot of fighters, to add to your point, who don't necessarily actually want to fight, but they're good at it, right? And it feeds their family, and it gets them out of poverty. It gets them out. So it's all mental, as you said. To keep it short.
Definitely. Cool, man. Well, look. On that
Yeah,
note, man, yeah, it was good to catch up. Let's call it there, man.
always.
It was always good to catch up. I know we missed last week, but I'm glad we covered up this week. We should be back next week because the next week's a big
We
one.
will definitely
Stay
be back.
tuned. Yeah, stay tuned for the shorts.
Thursday, Friday prediction.
Yeah. By the end of this week, let's do that. Just send me something over.
Okay.
We'll check.
Okay.
It'll be on the channel. We'll definitely do the podcast. Live reactions hopefully should be up as well. Not live, but we'll record it and pull it up anyway of our reactions of the fights.
Probably after the event.
Yeah, after the event. Yeah, so keep tuning that, bro. As always, thank you for your time. Always good to catch up with fights, and everyone else, thank you for support and all that sort of good stuff.
Yes. Again, put your predictions down. Which fight you looking forward to? Who's gonna be Money the Fight? Money the Fight? Fight of the night, yeah. Hey, let us know who fight of the night is. And yeah, like performance of the night. Let us know.
Awesome.
Comment.
Comment. All right, guys. Cool. We out. Peace.